Hi, I'm Jamie Lassane Spirits, and I'm the Family Engagement Specialist at Childcare Answers. Thank you for joining us for our mini series on supporting your preschool and school age behaviors at home. This series is broken up into 3 parts, and today we're going to talk about part 1, what can I expect? So milestones are behavioral, cognitive, and physical checkpoints in children's development as they grow. These are the core strategies children are typically reaching. We see them every day, and you observe them every day, and they offer important clues about developmental growth. For example, a developmental milestone for infants is crawling, and as they become into toddlers, they begin to walk, and then they run. And as preschoolers, they are jumping on 2 feet and skipping. Just like this example for physical development, young children also have social emotional developmental milestones as well. So what can we expect from our children? For our younger preschoolers, this looks like showing concern for crying friends and adults. They're going to notice they're developing that empathy. If you have or known a preschooler, you have experienced their wide range of emotions. At this age, they are continuing to learn how to identify those emotions and beginning to learn how to manage them. Not to mention, they are starting to find simple ways to solve conflict. This is important to note that they are starting to find these ways. They need a lot of guidance from us as adults. Routines continue to be really important, and they really notice changes that occur in those. And when a change does happen, your 3-year-old and your 4-year-old might respond emotionally. So at 5 and 6, children typically want to fit in and will be looking for praise from adults and their friends. And this is important to note that this is very typical. They're starting to notice what people are doing around them, their facial expressions, and their emotions. Again, that empathy is evolving and growing and developing. Children are showing more independence. They can get dressed in the morning and they are doing more tasks around the house. It is a great age to really start establishing weekly responsibilities or small little chores because they are having this desire to be more independent and helpful around the house. You probably have noticed also that they are testing the boundaries. This does start early on. It just grows in this time period. They are really trying to work on how to cooperate with others. They are better at it, and they are better at noticing differences and working those differences out. But as they learn and as they grow, they can come across bossy as they're stretching that independence and trying to learn how to negotiate with each other and with adults. Lastly, it can be really hard when they're tired for them to control their emotions. Just like the 3 and 4-year-olds, they are starting to identify, but then also manage, and they have more tools to do that. As your child is developing a deeper understanding of emotions like embarrassment and guilt and shame, we have to come alongside them and teach them how to manage those. At this age, it's important just to stop and to remember that many of these big emotions they are feeling, they're being felt for the first time. This is an excellent time to teach your child to value themselves and to give them strategies to make things right and to forgive. So as we continue on, your 7 and 8-year-olds, they are more capable of expressing their feelings and thoughts with words. However, they will still become upset, aggressive, or even a little whiny when they're tired. I know I still can get like that. So understanding that and understanding that if they've had a long day, then it might be related to that if their emotions are big at the end of the day. Your child may still seek your support when feeling emotional, but they're gonna do that less and it will look different. They might not ask for a hug anymore or want to cuddle. And maybe it's more just, I want to read a book. Can you sit beside me? So it's going to start changing as they grow older. And they're growing in their friendship skills, which is amazing. And they're working out more with friends and they're able to read others' facial expressions more. They truly want acceptance from others and peer acceptance in what they like and what they're doing. They will also look for friends who are really engaged in what they like. So if your child's into basketball, they're going to start looking for friends who like basketball. They're confident and their independence has really grown and taken off at this point. But this can really lead to some estimating of their abilities. So sometimes they think they can do too much. You can even see this at younger ages, but at this age, it's really coming across. And they can become overly confident. And when they don't reach those things that they're trying to accomplish, then they can swing the other way and become a little bit overly sensitive and self-critical. So really, as they are becoming their own person, you will feel and you will see some of these contradictions on the screen here. You're going to feel and you're going to see that they're starting to identify who they are as a person, stretch their wings, and try to gain some of that independence. But they still thrive from routine. They still need those boundaries set by us as adults. They thrive off of those, and they need to understand those so that they know how and when to stretch their independence. You're also going to see them having strong emotions. That's not going to go away. They're learning what it's like to feel in different environments and how to respond to those feelings in those different environments. And so it's good to know that they're going to be growing in their empathy. They're going to be growing in their love for others. They're going to be growing in their self-esteem, but they're still figuring that out. What does that mean here at school versus at home or at my friend's house or at soccer practice? So trying to understand those emotions can feel like a contradiction sometimes as they're growing and still learning. And lastly, they're able to cooperate more and more and more as they become older and school-agers. So this is important to note that they are growing and they are more compatible with others, and they're able to share in different ways and to find conflicts. However, because of this and because of their growing independence, they're testing those boundaries. They're experimenting with tattling because they know what's right and wrong, and they're trying that out. They are appearing to be bossy, and sometimes they're trying to negotiate in ways that doesn't really make sense as an adult, but that's because this is their first experiences, trying to make friends and navigate those friendships. So as much as we can as adults, I think it's important for us to understand these for their behaviors and just take a step back and let them learn how to negotiate, let them learn how to be themselves, let them learn how to practice those friendship skills and to have space and a safe space for those big emotions. At the end of the day, it's so important to remember that all children will develop at their own pace. You may see this with your own children. Maybe your eldest developed faster in a certain area than your youngest. Trying to understand that will help us as we begin to navigate some of these frustrations we might experience with behaviors, and also how we can help and support our children. If you are worried about your child or have questions about your child's development, I encourage you to check out the Learn the Signs Act Early through the Center of Disease Control. There they have a ton of resources where you can follow and monitor your child's development. Stay tuned for part 2 and part 3, and we look forward to talking more in depth about what behaviors are and how we can help support our children.